So today we're back at FP McCann. This is in fact the first vlog sort of style thing I've done this year in 2025 for linemarking.expert. So I'm looking forward to getting back into a bit more filming for you guys. We've had an awful lot going on with the YouTube channel. Things have been changing, things we're doing. So quite a few changes on the horizon for us. Anyway, I'm gonna find somewhere to park. We're on this humongous site here. And I really need to find out where it is we're going, what it is we're installing here. And yeah, let's crack on because this one looks big. So looking at these floors, I mean, you can see there's an awful lot of paint down there and we really need to kind of lift all that up first. We're going to go down with another epoxy. As you can see, it is just so incredibly thick. There's like 10 layers of paint in there we've got to take out before we can get the brand new paint on the ground. Then of course we've got the workshop as well going into the warehouse. A lot to take up here, and these lines have been done. They're so rough and just untidy. The whole lot needs shop blasting, taking out, and then we can actually put everything back in again and get it looking tidy. And of course continue the walkway because it just kind of stops right in the middle of the workshop, which is absolutely no good to anybody. So we come back to the office and just going to go back out because one of our lorries has broken down back on our first job. And while we're in here, I thought I'd do you a very, very quick behind the scenes of what else we've got going on. So behind me here, this is the new setup that we've put together for a lot of the web content we're putting together for Alex Builds It, which is essentially like my little personal project to help you guys build your own. Sorry, I've got these new Invisalign things in as well, and it's given me like a bit of a lisp. Anyway, this is like the back sort of setup that we've done. So Harry's in the background editing over here. We've put up some lights, some like poles over the roof, doing some editing down the bottom down here that you can see. And then we've also just got some funky new signage, put up some clapperboards as like a bit of a background decoration. We couldn't get all the lighting in that we need, like a professional fit out. So we actually just like popped a light into the roof space and then just have it like propped up against the wall. And then put some soundproofing on so that we can do some better filming for you guys, a couple of little background lights, and hopefully it'll just make the whole experience a little bit nicer. And we've actually hidden like printers like hidden behind here so you can't really see, and then put a light in front of it so that when the camera's off, when the lights are off, the camera sort of picks up the light behind it. I've also got one of my gritting trucks here from one of our winter gritting things. So as I say, one of our trucks is broken down. We've got to head over and have a look at that. First project back of the year as well. Let me just show you without the lights on what it looks like. So when you're behind the camera, it'll look a little bit like this. Anyway, I'm gonna run. I will see you all in a bit. Okay, so technically, with day 2, I'm on site at a garage because our lorry was being repaired. After we did our very first job of the new year, came back to Tewkesbury Council, and as we were installing the line markings at Tewkesbury in the car park, the alternator went on the lorry, which meant we had to get recovered by the RAC, costing us an absolute fortune to get taxis for the guys back, having to get the lorry recovered, come in and get a new alternator fitted. Then we had to have the belts, the pulleys and other bits and pieces all in. It's been a couple of £1,000s worth of repairs. Anyway, we're trying to get everything restarted and lit because we're going to be back at the council tomorrow. And the thermocouples inside here seem to have gone faulty because we now can't light the boilers. So fortunately, Screwfix is open, managed to pick up a couple of these thermocouples, which are technically for, you know, gas boilers or whatever they're actually for. But, I mean, it is a gas boiler, but more like a home boiler. But anyway, we're gonna try and fit them on super sharpish because we're gonna be at the council in about, I don't know, 9 hours. And at the minute, nothing's working. Well, the lorry itself's driving again, which is great, but we can't lay any lines. Anyway, on the plus side, the new lighting looks absolutely amazing. So we had new floodlights while it was off the road. We had new floodlights here and on the inside, new floodlights on the outside. We've actually got 3 more floodlights that are going on. So we've got, they're on here, sorry. So on the very roof pointing at an angle. So one will come off this side, one the other side, and then we have a central one going up here that's going to shine back down this way, because what we get is a little bit of a shadow obviously when you're standing on here at night. In fact, let me show you. If you're working in this area here, you'll lift up, put your paints in, so the light will just sit on there and shine back. But I am also concerned it's going to be super bright because these ones, they're fairly bright actually. But this area is really nicely lit up. Just a little bit of a mess, needs a bit of a tidy up here as well, to be fair. But yeah, so we've got the same on the roof to go there, another set of lighting to go there, and that will give us side lights off of the side of the lorry. And then you can go really overboard. I actually wanted some big floodlights on the front as well, because I thought that would be super cool, just giving us amazing lighting. We could even put it underneath the beacon, shining out this way, and then the same on the roof, like really big floodlights. But I think I'm just going a little bit overkill. In fact, I know I'm definitely going overkill with all of that. So as you guys know, I tend not to touch too many things because I end up breaking them. We had one of the boilers working a minute ago, so the yellow was working absolutely fine. The white one wasn't, and I said to Lee, why don't we try and move the thermocouple from the yellow onto the white, and then worst case, we can get out of Dodge tomorrow just swapping the thermocouples over. Anyway, we gave it a go just now and broke it, obviously. Uh-oh.
Not gonna swear.
Not gonna swear. These ones a bit shorter.
The actual neck of it is wider, where that's quite a thin neck.
Right.
On these ones it's wider, so I've just got to open that up.
Push it in.
A bit more to get it through.
Ready to get it going?
Should do that, that should stay lit.
So maybe it wasn't the thermocouple. Oh wait, that one's working. It was. Nice. Let's do the other one. Awesome job. That's that one back up and running. Number 2. So this one is going to be using the Super Universal. Let's open her up. Trying to undo this one-handed.
How we doing?
Well, it was going all right until I suggested we move the thermocouple, and then we snapped it, and we've got one of them back up and running, but we're now going to get the other one back up and running.
Right, okay.
But this breaks all on us.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
We have them like this all time at night time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of a pain when it gets to weather like
They
this.
should just anywhere and they don't give a shit, you see.
Hopefully this will give us the white as well. I think I might actually order some spare thermocouples as well, just to keep on stock on the van, on the lorry, sorry. And then if you ever have this issue again, it's easy to do it. Oh yeah. But hopefully we won't have this issue, but it is the second time.
The thermocouple?
Yeah.
When we first got it,
Yep. Yeah, I'll get some spares ordered tomorrow then. Okay, so we got the lorry back up and running. We managed to install everything for the council, but I wanted to take some time to come back into the office because there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about on really growing your own line marking business and how you can increase those sales, how you can go for like a sort of recurring monthly subscription model within your line marking, because believe it or not, we use a subscription model and it's crazy that other people don't do it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. You'll also see we've got the brand new sign. So we're going to jump in and talk a little bit about that now. Give me 2 secs. I should be back in just a flash. Okay, so we're going to talk subscription models. And yes, I have changed, look a little bit like a Bond villain today, but don't worry about it. So we're going to look at subscriptions, and I think it's a super important thing. Before we go back outside, we're going to head to a site over at McDonald's as well in a minute. We're going to go through an install that we're doing there in thermoplastic. But before we do, subscription models. Why is it important? Why do you need to do it? In fact, I created a whole 15-minute video on it. You can watch it right here. That will take you to the whole in-depth how to do it in your line striping business and why, because it's super important. But to summarize it, just sort of condense it for this one, I'll do you a little summary of it. I was watching a video of somebody else, and they do line striping in the US. Great job, love the videos. And he phoned up the customer. This is going back before Christmas. And he said, hey, it's been 12 months since we did your parking lot. We need to come out and restripe it for you. It'll be $450. We'll come out, we'll redo it for you now. And the customer said, yeah, okay, cool, great, come out and redo the parking lot. And he was talking about it in the video and said, look, really easy way to make some money, phone your customers up and offer to come back out every 12 months. Now, the idea in principle is fine, but I do honestly feel there is a far better way to do that. No criticism to this person, I think they do a great job, but there is definitely a far, far better way of doing it than phoning up that customer every 12 months. I mean, for one, that requires you to actually book in the time to phone that customer every 12 months. but it doesn't take into account things that happen. And let's face it, in life, things happen to us all the time. You know, my car broke down recently. I had to spend thousands of pounds on repairs. That was an unexpected repair bill, and it meant that I then didn't go and buy things that I otherwise would have bought or had planned to buy. I wanted to buy, for example, a new microphone. Instead, I was like, my car's, broken. I don't want to go and spend £700-800 on a microphone. I'm going to wait. These things happen, and that's kind of what I want to help you guys avoid happening in your sales. The way we get around it is by trying to get people on a subscription. Now, the way it works for us, as I say, full video here, but the way we would do it is we would do your installation, let's say day one. So we do your install for your parking lot. In this case, it was $500. We'll come out, we'll do that for you now. However, we anticipate that the lines in your parking lot should last for 3 years. That's the design life we give it, is 3 years. And so what we'd like to do is every 12 months, we're going to come out, we're going to restripe the bits that have faded. Over a 3-year period, you're going to have a brand new parking lot. It's going to look absolutely amazing. It's only going to cost you $17 a month. So you're not going to have to pay this $500 out to us each time. Instead, it's only $17 a month, and we'll continue refreshing that parking lot for you for as long as you hold a subscription with us. So you can hold that for the next 20 years. You're going to pay a monthly subscription fee to us. We'll come out every year and redo it. Now, the way we phrase it, the way we do it, obviously is not the same as how I've just conveyed it to you there. I'm just showing you that's in principle what it is and how it works. But we would look at a project, and if you said you needed to do it every single month, instead of having to phone that customer in 12 months and saying, hey, why don't we redo your parking lot, $450 please, I think you'd have a better time and an easier time if you just said, hey, look, it's $39.95 a month. And every year we'll come out, we'll redo your parking lot. We'll never send you one of these $500 bills ever again. It'll literally be $40 a month, whatever it is. And for as long as you keep paying that subscription, we'll come out every 12 months and redo it. Now, I would argue that you shouldn't have to do your line marking every 12 months. The design of your lines should be for at least 2 or 3 years, really. On many surfaces, you'll get that. There is very few products, unless you're using a water base, that won't give you a 2 or 3 year lifespan, unless, of course, you're in a very, very high traffic environment, in which case you can still hit that design lifespan of 3 years. You just need to swap to an MMA or a thermoplastic. But if you're using an acrylic or a water-based, it's going to fade out every 12 months. And quite honestly, that's not a good route to go down, in my opinion. I wouldn't do it in my business. I would rather go for something that's better, harder wearing, charge a bit more money, but I'll charge you a monthly subscription on top. So if I came out and said, okay, with me it's $1,000, but you know what? It's only $80 a month, and I'll come out every 12 months and redo it for you. That works far better because I get monthly recurring revenue. You don't get the unexpected bill at the end of the year. And I'm not going to hear an excuse of, oh, my car broke down, my fridge is broken, my house needs some repairs, I'm going through a divorce, I can't do it. Whatever these things are, they crop up. That's what we want to sort of try and mitigate the risk of you not getting paid and not getting that sale. So I'd encourage you to watch the video that I just mentioned. Yes, it's about 15 minutes. It goes into full detail on how we set up a subscription model. Absolutely invaluable to your business, I think, quite honestly. You'll get monthly revenue coming in, and if you ever go to sell it, if you've got 2 companies side by side, you've got one company that says, yeah, we phone our customers every 12 months, or they phone us, and we go out and we redo it, and you've got another one that says, yeah, we do all of that, but actually we also have a subscription model where our customers just pay us regardless of whether we're turning up today or not. That one's going to hold more value. There's no 2 ways about it. So my advice is definitely go for the higher value if you can. And if that means add a subscription model and you get some monthly revenue, why would you not do it? Anyway, that's kind of my thing with it. Like I said, no criticism to the guy that did the video. I think the idea is he phoned the customer, got the second sale. Absolutely spot on. There is a better way to do it though. That was really it. Anyway, we're going to head over to McDonald's. We're going to be using a thermoplastic system. It's bloody cold out there, so we're going to get changed again. Go out to that one, and let's show you what we're up to at McDonald's. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you over there. Hey guys, this is actually a nice local one today. We're in Wellingborough in Northamptonshire, which is about, 15 miles from our base, so pretty local. We're doing a thermoplastic install today, and this is actually for McDonald's. Everything heating up for us. So we've had some reds on the go, some yellow, some white. And we just use dye sachets. You just drop them in to keep these things going. Better move that. That's going to get super hot and melt the underside. So we'll heat up the jugs. Looks like we're going to hand mold everything in here today. Lee is drying using a big propane dryer. We'll have a look at that in just a second. We've got everything fixed from the other day. back up and running again, although we have got a job to do for the council at Tewkesbury, and it's been playing up a little bit. In fact, the whole lorry's been playing up. I don't know, there's something not quite feeling right about the whole thing. We have got the hammerjet with us as well. So for those of you not familiar, this is a turbine drying system, uber expensive at about 22,000 euros, which is probably the same in dollars, about $23,000 worth of machinery just to dry the ground. And as you can see, what we're really using, a $2,000 drying unit that would just dry the ground for us, because actually it does a better job, it's more reliable. And that's a real shame, because I had such high hopes for the hammerjet, such a good piece of equipment, but honestly, a propane torch like this just doesn't fail. Unfortunately, John was just saying they've been cleaning, they're jet washing the outside of the building. So these guys here are jet washing everything, as you can see, they're soaking the whole place, but then they've got us in line marking at the same time. Now we obviously need it super dry and can't have any moisture on the ground at all, and the other guys are soaking the place trying to clean it up. So it's, I don't know, crazy. Yeah. These things are very, very sensitive, like really sensitive, and whatever that is not right. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother starting this because I think there's oil in it. I'm just going to leave it off. Oh, sorry, I'm wearing it, John. Fucking wearing it, sorry. So I'm having a look at this hammerjet, trying to figure out what's wrong, and I've seen something inside. I'm going to try and show you guys if I can. So if I just undo the lid on the fuel tank here, just gently undo it, I don't want it to spill out. As I was looking in, just to see what was causing an issue, right, do you see that black sludge there? Looks like an oil or something which will be contaminating the fuel. Now these things are incredibly sensitive machines, and so I don't think there's an issue with the hammerjet. I think there's an issue with the guys having contaminated the fuel, and they probably need to drain it. The problem is I can't have them just drain it and refill it with the same fuel. That fuel's now got to go in the bin because it's contaminated, and we have to flush it with fresh fuel. My concern with that, this is the fresh fuel, and that to me doesn't look like it's being stored properly. Could it be contaminated with something else? Could that just introduce more problems? And so it now needs to be refiltered before it can be put back through the machine again. So John's just started up the donkey engine on here. What we're going to be doing is just using the mixing paddles on here. So these are just over 200 degrees, and inside all we're going to do is mix up. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's mixing the white, this side's the yellow.
White and marked red, light up, then put a yellow guys on, or
Yeah, we can do that. We can save waste by putting a couple of white and reduce the yellow
that'll
guys.
lighten it up, then yellow should change it.
Save waste in the boot.
Yeah.
All right, so I think they're pretty much done with the drying behind me. Let me just shut the boot. There was a little Starbucks opposite, and to be fair, I'm not the biggest Starbucks fan. I actually think their coffee tastes like it's been burnt half the time. It's kind of like, I don't know, tepid swamp water, I think, a lot of the time. So thermoplastic has become quite a big thing for us over the last 6 months, I'd say. We've really started to use it on as many jobs as possible, but we still do a good amount of spray work. It's just, I don't know, part of it is down to how quick the thermoplastic cures, especially lower temperatures in the minute. It's mid-January. You know, we get drying times down to like 2 or 3 minutes with thermoplastic, which is fantastic. Whereas when we go to spray, it's 20 minutes usually, and sometimes it's just a real pain. But honestly, I think the biggest reason we're using thermoplastic at the moment is that it simply matches our customer expectation for what the product is that we'd use. That's not to say that it's better, because I think that MMA is far better than thermoplastic. And I think that using an acrylic spray machine is far easier and cheaper because I can bang it in the back of a van, I can turn up, I can literally start spraying lines in within minutes, whereas the thermoplastic system takes at least half an hour just to set up. And so I think there's an element that it costs more to do, really. It's a bit more of a pain. You know, just the insurance alone's like four and a half grand a year just to insure the lorry, let alone all the repairs, the maintenance, everything else. So it's expensive to operate, but like I say, it kind of meets the customer expectation in terms of what they're expecting us to, you know, bring to site, what they expect to see. Are these the dye sachets? So we've got blue ones, yellow ones.
Red, black.
Oh, nice, got everything then.
Yeah.
So what the guys are doing here, they're putting in a sachet, a dye sachet. So we're trying to turn the red back to yellow, to putting in the yellow bags, and then also putting in a yellow dye sachet. Basically, when we have the red paint inside it, because we were doing a job the other day that required red, we use the yellow sort of kettle, if you like, fill that up, put the red dye sachets in, and then install in red. Now we do that, but then we obviously want to turn it back to white after back to yellow again afterwards. So what we do is we put more yellow bags in, which have got a dye sachet in, but then we put an extra dye sachet in. So basically you're getting 2 dye sachets for 1 bag. And the idea is that we go from a red to an orange to a yellow pretty quickly. And then we don't waste all of the paint that's in there, because otherwise you end up having to take all the red paint out and basically bin it off. But we find that as long as we run it down low enough, we can fill it up with yellow, put a couple of yellow sachets in, and we don't have to scrub and clean the whole thing out. We can just turn it back to yellow without too much hassle, to be fair. So I think Harry's just getting set up here with new camera angles, things that we want to capture. These ND filters you got on it.
Yeah, I love it, man.
All right, so we are back at the office. McDonald's all gone great, as you can see. Now, I wanted to just give you guys a bit of a heads up. I know I've mentioned the new channel that we put together. It's not line striping centered at all, because I get a lot of questions about different businesses, different startups, and the idea behind this channel is I'm essentially going to start a couple of different companies and start them from scratch and build them up and show, basically we want to get them profitable within 90 days for under 10 grand. One of them we're going to be starting is a line striping business from the ground up, which has nothing to do with linemark.com. This is a whole brand new business that we're going to start that's going to specifically deliver a different type of line striping to a different industry, different niche altogether, completely different business. So I'm going to show you guys how we're going to start a business within 90 days. I mean, arguably it's January now. I'm probably going to start in February, really, by the time we get all of this ready. So if we start beginning of February, we're going to go from 90 days from there, and we're going to get that company completely solvent, profitable, absolutely everything within 90 days, and for under $10,000. That's the goal anyway. And that's I think it's going to be pretty tough, but I know I can do it. So I'm looking forward to that one. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you're looking at starting a line striping business, it's a bit of a shameless plug, I know, but I help a lot of people start companies, hence why we're doing this, where we basically start new businesses and get them to profit within 90 days for under 10 grand. As I mentioned, one of them would be the line striping. If you're interested in starting your own line striping business and you want to kind of basically take all of that content, all of that data, all of the insights, whether it's the business plans, the marketing, whether you're looking to get all of how we identify our niche, how we do our financial planning, how we literally install everything, set up the machinery. If you're looking for all of that, then there's a link to alexbuilds.it, and you can get the line marking expert or line striping expert training. And that gives you everything you'd need to do in order to run your line striping business. But there's a few extras, for example, like writing the business plan, identifying your niche, and of course, getting that business off the ground. Because ultimately, that's kind of why you guys are probably here right now. Maybe you've got a line striping business, maybe you want to start a line striping business, and maybe you're sort of stumbling at that first kind of, how do I start? What do I do? What do I do first? Because I watch the videos, I see the lines being installed, but maybe I'm not quite sure how to do it myself. I need to know where to begin. If that's kind of the stumbling block you're at, then have a check out. I'll put the link up now for you guys. Hopefully it'll help you guys out. Anyway, that's it from this episode. I look forward to making plenty more of these over the year, but I will also post the line striping business startup video as soon as we get it recorded. Like I say, we're going to start February, so it'll be all of February, all of March, all of April. We'll get it live in May for you guys once we've edited it, and that will basically be a brand new business from the ground up in line striping. Look forward to sharing it with you guys there. Take care for now. Thanks.